Hello, thanks for joining me. It is a lovely late winter day. Spring is a few days away, but it appears the weather has started to change. It is in the mid 40s, I guess, right now, going up to perhaps the low 50s Fahrenheit. That's at about 10 or 11 degrees Celsius. Just a gorgeous day. And I am in it's kind of a neat little area. It's actually a moraine. And you can see the edges of it here, I believe. So it's actually on a little bit of a moraine hill, and then there's a kettle depression lake in the top of it. Which I'll give you some footage of right here. Well, at one time, this was a groomed ski trail. It's pretty much been left unattended for years. It's used a little bit for snowshoeing now. So, join me on the walk. Hope you enjoyed that. I am smoking on this day a clay pipe, and in this clay pipe I am smoking some Cornell Diehl New Market. Perhaps you can see that and get a different picture of that, I'm sure, inserted here. Anyway, New Market is a deer tongue blend from Cornell Diehl. And I think it's the first of the 3 deer tongue blends that I plan on doing a quick little review on. I know there's a lot of reviews, or at least a good number of reviews, on Crooner, which is burley and deer tongue. But I'm not a real fan of Cornell Diehl's burleys, so I'll leave that for the other reviewers. So we'll start with New Market. We'll probably throw in some 382, engine 382, and then also Gentleman Caller. Those are the 3 Cornell Diehl deer tongue blends that I have. And New Market is, I think, the least, well, Crooner is probably the least complicated cube cut burleys and deer tongue. New Market then goes the other direction with bright Virginias, lemon Virginias, unsweetened black Cavendish, and a little bit of deer tongue. Now this particular New Market is, I jarred this in August of 2016, so not quite 2 years on this. And in that 1.5-year time frame, the Virginias have turned from a yellow color to more of a red color, actually reddish orange. And the smell, you get a little bit of the hay yet. You also get the acetic acid smell, the fermenting Virginia smell, that McClellan smell that a lot of people complain about, the ketchup smell. Well, that's here. Very light. Underneath the hay, you get that acetic acid, that fermenting Virginia smell. The unsweetened Cavendish, don't really pick up anything there. I assume it's a burley-based Cavendish, but I'm not sure. The tobacco itself, you sort of pick up some sweetness from the Virginias. The deer tongue, well, that's the complex piece of this. Deer tongue for me, and I'm sure it varies by person. Some people hate it, some people love it. Others, I don't think, comment on it one way or the other. But anyway, deer tongue, to me, has kind of this vacillating characteristic about it. It'll start out giving a little bit of a sweet vanilla, almost vanilla. It's very subtle vanilla flavor. But at the same time, it's also competing with more of an herbal aroma, herbal flavor. Some people say it's mint. It's not like a commercial mint. It's more like if you've ever picked wild North American mints like the downy wood mint, which has very little essential mint oil in it, it's got just a little bit of that hinting towards that essential oil, but it's a much more herbal flavor in a mint. That's probably closer to what deer tongue reminds me of. And what I find with deer tongue is there's a little bit of bitterness to it, especially if you smoke it hot. If you smoke it very hot, you will definitely get a bitter sensation. But if you keep it cool, it kind of drifts in and out of the vanilla to the mint to the herbal essence, and then back again. So you get that kind of interplay. As you burn down the bowl, I think you start to develop a little bit of the bitterness no matter what. But it's always, it should be in the background, that bitterness. New Market with about a year and a half of age, I think is a nice tobacco if you like Virginias, with just a little bit of a natural aromatic flavor about it. One of the other things that deer tongue tends to do is have like almost a numbing sensation to the mouth. Like if you eat black licorice or some other spices, you get kind of this numbness. It's very subtle, but it's there. In fact, it reminds me a little bit of the sensation after eating licorice. So that's the smoke. The aroma is actually very pleasant. You actually get more of the vanilla sensation in the aroma than you do than I do anyways in the smoke itself. And what I find is the aftertaste is very enjoyable as well. It's actually probably a little bit nicer than the smoke itself. And not that I have a beard, but that aroma on that's left over gives you a little bit of that vanilla aroma. It's quite good, quite enjoyable. So that's New Market coming up. Engine 382, Casey Jones. This is going to be much closer to, I think, Crooner. This is dark and white burley, Virginias, black Cavendish, again unsweetened, deer tongue, and supposedly there's a tiny bit of Perique in this as well. And then Gentleman Caller. This is going to be more Virginias, burley, deer tongue, and Perique. So no black Cavendish in this. And this is a much coarser cut. The black that's in here is actually Perique. So it's a healthy dose of Perique. Those are to come. Hope you're doing well. Spring is definitely approaching. The blue jays are playing in the trees over there. There's been a grouse drumming in the hills over here. The robins are exploring some of the sun-baked soil here, looking for whatever they can. There was a pileated woodpecker flying from tree to tree a little bit earlier. And I'm sure you can't hear it, but the grouse just finished another round of drumming in the distance. And with that, I hope you're getting outside, or at least more frequently getting outside. Take care, and perhaps I shall see you again. And no matter where I go, I can't escape the occasional airplane flying by. I can escape the sound of the automobiles and trains, but sooner or later I'll be in a flight path of an airplane. I suppose below the flight path of an airplane.